Internet, good afternoon. Crobat for the win here today, bringing you an really epic GBA playoffs match versus ShadyPenguinn on YouTube. It was really an intense match. Both sides played really well. I can't wait to go through it. I saved a lot of my killer strategies for this week, since last week I had played him again. So obviously we don't want to use the killer strategies, and again, didn't mean too much. Well, you'll see them as we go along. You'll see them. He is a kind of similar team to last week, but no Tyranitar, and he brought Trevenant this time. I don't know what to expect from there. He might have changed these sets up. He might not have. I don't know. All I know is he leads with Mamoswine. I lead with Staraptor because I thought I could just get like a U-turn off or something like that, something safe. Unfortunately, I don't like that because the Ice Shard prospect, as I just have to switch into Gyarados to get the Intimidate. He then switches out and goes into Arcanine, which might seem good because of the water versus fire, but getting the Intimidate off, I definitely don't like that. I'm going to go into Empoleon, which takes on this Arcanine the best, since it's a special wall and doesn't mind being Will-O-Wisp too much, I guess. It gets burned. That's, yeah, kind of sad. But Arcanine is going to withdraw now. He goes into Trevenant, which is A-okay. I know that I have the Ice Beam. I know that I can set up Stealth Rocks. I could mess with this Trevenant a little bit. That's fine. I do set up the Stealth Rocks, which are going to be critical to this game. I know I'm going to need them. The thing is, he did not set up his Stealth Rocks first turn, which is amazing. I'm so happy about that. All I know is I'm going to go with the Ice Beam, go that on Empoleon. He misses to the Leech Seed, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess it didn't matter too much in the long run, because as you can see, I switch out right here anyways. I would have only switched out had it hit. Yeah, whatever. Well, things are things. He's going to go for a rest, predicting my Ice Beam. He was pondering going for the Will-O-Wisp, but he went for the safer move, and thank God for Staraptor's sake, because now it can just go for Brave Bird everything, and he does go into Arcanine, which is A-okay, because I am just going to predict that. Go for the U-turn, play it safe. There's really no need to over-predict, or even just playing it safe. There's no need to do anything else. Had he stayed in Trevenant, I would have just went back into Empoleon. Yep, I do go back into Empoleon, actually, of course. That's just the smart thing to do against an Arcanine. It's still burned, that's kind of bad, but I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to hold my ground here, switch out. I'm going to go into Staraptor, because I actually predicted Trevenant this time. And unfortunately, holding my ground and switching back out, I end up getting burned by a flamethrower, which is the worst case of hacks I've had so far in the GBA, probably, or close to it. That's awful, because now Staraptor's as good as useless, and I just go for a useless Brave Bird that does absolutely nothing. He just gets another hit off, and it dies right after that. Well, I go into Jolteon now, because I figured it'll just be able to take it out. He goes for the E-Speed, which I thought I could take decently well. Anyways, I get the Shadow Ball, because I thought he would switch into Trevenant. And of course, that Arcanine lives the Shadow Ball, so it doesn't matter whether we switched into Trevenant or not. Oh well. Things will be things, I guess. I Volt Switch on out of there because I know I have to. I'd rather get a safe switch into something else, like Superior, aka Gyarados. This is an amazing Gyarados. He goes into Mamoswine, which is, I guess that's okay. He is going to go for the Freeze Dry, which I was not expecting, but it doesn't KO, which is the most amazing thing ever. Gyarados, you're the MVP of this series, the ShadyPenguinn series, hands down, bar none, and it only gets better. KOs with the Waterfall, that's a dead Gyarados. I don't even have to worry about Stealth Rocks anymore, which is awesome. Gyarados is a solid 67 health. That is not bad in the slightest. He goes into his Mavis, his Noivern. I'm just going to switch on out of there. I'm going to go into Empoleon because it's the safest move to make. I'm still at pretty solid HP, where being specially defensive, I can take any hit pretty well, even though he's probably Specs. And I think that only did 30 damage. Then we're just going to add the leftovers and burn. It's going to be probably roughly 40 a turn, or I'm not even going to do the math in my head because the next turn's happening, but it's like 40 damage a turn. So he goes into this Trevenant. I go for the Scald because I thought he'd go into his go into his Mega Scizor, or his Scizor, because it's not Mega yet. But I digress. I guess things happen sometimes. I do get the burn, though, which is kind of nice. It might have a Citrus Berry, or not a Citrus Berry, a Lumberry, but that's okay, because at least a burn is a burn. It's going to give him a little bit of health away if he doesn't get Harvest, which, once again, it's just going to wear him down. That's good. He now goes for the Leech Seed, and he does hit this time. My Empoleon is getting to lower health, and this is a bad thing. I definitely don't like that, because it's going to get his Trevenant up to a higher health range. Thank God for that burn, though. It is going to set it down to a place where almost anything can KO it. Even though it gets the Lumbarian Cures this turn, like I said, it's still at a very, very low amount of health. He ends up going switching out. He goes into his Claudia. He goes into, what is this thing called? Crawdaunt, that's what they call it. And I just go for the safe Ice Beam. I was not going to over-predict at this point. Not worth it. This was a turn where I just couldn't. I could have gone for the Scald, maybe, but I had no clue if it would KO Trevenant. I mean, I know that it is boosted by Torrent, but I don't know. I'm not going to take the risk. So I am just going to stand, because this thing is pretty much dead. Anything could KO it, even the Noivern. So I just let it KO with the knockoff. That's A-OK. I'm going to go into Scrafty, DRDT. It's a calculus thing. I'm going to get the Intimidate off, so that way it won't do much damage with anything. And I know I can scare him out. He then goes into Mega Scizor, which is a good prediction on his part, because I'm too scared to set up Dragon Dances. It's just, I can't do that with his Mavis running around. That thing is still faster than Scrafty after Dragon Dance. I go for the knockoff, and he predicted that going into Mega Scizor, because it's holding a Mega Stone, which cannot be knocked off. And here's the most crucial part of the match. I know this Mega Scizor is vital to taking out my Gardevoir. It can OHKO with a Bullet Punch, hands down, no questions asked. He sets up a Swords Dance. After my Intimidate, he's at +1. This Scizor is getting really, really scary. It's at 60% right now. I have to do something to stop it, and its tracks, boom! Fire Blast in the face. Amazing. Gyarados, you actually hit. It doesn't matter that it didn't KO. I calced it before, and I chose Fire Blast so it would do about half damage. It does a little over 50. Guess what? Because of that, he cannot switch out and save his Mega Scizor for Gardevoir. This is amazing. It's okay that Gyarados died. His sacrifice will not be made in vain. As Scrafty's going to go in, it's going to get to +0. That Bullet Punch, Scrafty KO, the knockoff, and the off chance he decided to switch out. I figured I'd just go for the knockoff. Drain Punch, I would only gain 5 health anyways, or something crazy like that. So Scrafty is sitting at pretty good health here. I can't complain. I think I have this game in the bag at this point if I just play all my cards right. I go into Jolteon, and I feel really bad about it because it's just going to end up being death fodder. Air Slash is going to take it out because it's specs and all. That's unfortunate. Jolteon did get a KO for today, which is cool. It's going to be 0 though in the playoffs so far. Now I go into Gardevoir to clean up everything. It's 3-2 at this point. This is Scarfed Gardevoir, the old classic. You know, you've seen it on this channel. If you've even been a remote fan of this channel, or if you've even seen just a few battles, I guarantee you've seen Scarfed Gardevoir. Best Gardevoir set ever. I go for the Moonblast. It takes out Trevenant, obviously. Now he's going to go into his Crawdaunt, which he's going to hope with an Aqua Jet can do enough damage to either KO or get at a place where his Noivern can KO. But little did he know, I was Scarfed. I think at this point in his narration, he did realize I was Scarfed right around this point. And I feel bad, but it is going to be a victory for the Nidokings, and we are going on to the championship after this Moonblast destroys Noivern. That was an amazing, amazing game, ShadyPenguinn. That was probably the most epic game I've ever been in, because we had good and bad plays on both sides. It was just really intense, and it came down to the wire. It really did come down to whether Gardevoir was Scarfed and that Fire Blast. I think if I didn't have that Fire Blast, you probably would have switched out with Mega Scizor, saved it for Gardevoir and all. Or you could have even just swept through my team, because Waterfall wouldn't have done anything. You could accept one more Swords Dance, and everything else would have been absolutely destroyed by Bullet Punch. So thank heavens for that. I guess I had enough foresight to do that. It was just like on a whim, 5 minutes before. I just like, what the heck, I'll just throw it on there. I guess it worked out. Not much else to say other than next week we are facing the Arizona Deoxys in the championship. Actually, it's 2 weeks from now, because it's happening in 2 weeks. But in 2 weeks, expect that amazing game. It might be live, so you might want to see it somewhere. I'll keep you guys updated whenever that will be. First, we have the All-Star game, which is going to be Shady and Moody Pones They're going to be coaching the All-Star teams because, well, unfortunately they both lost in the semifinals. But they're going to be taking 6 of the top 12 Pokemon in the stats, including Jolteon, and they're going to see who wins. So I'll keep you on the lookout for that as well. I'm sure to let you know when that happens. And beyond that, we've, like I said, got that championship game. I wish the best of luck to my opponent, Mr. Gubstacular, and to his team and to his Pokemon. May the better man and or luckier person win. That's basically it for today, Brobats. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe if you like this video. Peace out.